Something came to me the other day. I forgot what I was watching or what triggered it, but I was thinking about I was thinking about polyamory. That's why I'm kind of considering it, but I was just thinking about it. And I was like, well, it's kind of hard to determine what that would look like. So I'm like, well, you don't need, something in my head said you don't need to follow a specific polyamorous system. You can create your own. Like everything else, and this is the whole point of being conscious. So you can create your own reality, right? Probably easier said than done. I say that because for polyamory, let's say, you would have to find a partner that agrees with that, and also they've shed their ego because it's not just about sex, it's about intimacy. And the problem with that word, a lot of people don't really understand the meaning of it. Intimacy is not just sex or romance. Intimacy is actually, you could be intimate with your mother, you could be intimate with your best friend, you could be intimate with your child. It's showing love, it's showing that you genuinely care for someone, however way it is, or however way it could be to you or that other person, is showing up for someone else. You know what I mean? So I started to think about that, and I was like, there's so many limitations into so many different things, like so many things: classes, school, work, who to be in society, how to be, what you want to do, what your family wants you to do, what your friends want you to do. There's just so many things. But once you become aware, you understand that the focus is on you, and you are responsible for your reality that you create for yourself. So now that you know that, now you're probably on the journey of doing the work to eliminate your old programming, to eliminate the old ways that you were thinking, to eliminate behaviors and actions and habits that no longer serves you. Once you're awake, that is just the beginning. Now you have to unlearn everything, and then replace it with something that best suits you. So I was thinking, consciousness, once you become awake and aware and conscious, because of the way this world is going, it's very easy to fall into the trap of consciousness as well. It's very easy to buy books after books after books, listen to audios, listen to this, listen to that, go to watch webinars, or go to like live videos or live screenings or whatever. And after you've accumulated all of this kind of like knowledge and information, at this point you want to start to apply what you've learned. I did that for a little while, and then I stopped, and then I fell into the hole of just consuming, and then I'm like, okay, I need to really apply the things that I've learned. So now I'm like, yo, you could actually be caught up in the conscious wave. And that can also be a trap. That can also be a box. And the whole point about consciousness is really being aware of everything around you, everyone around you, being open to having the experiences and to learning and to see how other people experience life. It's not necessarily for you to tell them how to do something because you've learned something. Like, it's not for you to obtain information just to show off. It's for you to apply and walk the path. And if someone or other people want to follow you, if you want to share that information, you share that information. And if other people want to follow you by your actions, then they will do so. Now, there are some things that you can teach people just by citing it to them, writing a book or whatever. But it's quite interesting. I swear, I was just thinking about this, and that thought just came into my head. Well, consciousness is also a box. I was like, who said that? Who said that? And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that is true. Because it's just like this essential water. Everybody has this craze for this alkaline essential water. I remember buying essential water before it was even popping, when it was just $1 for the 2 liter size bottle, for the 1 liter size bottle. Now everybody's on this alkaline craze, and you're supposed to learn about. You're supposed to learn about acidity and alkalinity, And a lot of you may know this. Some of you that don't understand that your blood level, your pH blood level, your potential hydrogen in your blood should be between 7.35 and 7.45. It's not even 7.1. There's 0 to 7, which is acidic, and 7 to 14, which is alkaline. So 7 is in the middle. It's 7.35 to 7.45, which means that it's not even a 7.1, which is alkalinity. 7.35 is slightly alkaline. You go over that, you're going to have problems. You go below that, you're going to have problems. You need to be in a constant state of balance. All right? Just that alone is teaching you, like, you know, not to necessarily be from one extreme end to the other, unless if that's just where you operate. It is what it is. But that voice, when that said that to me, I was just like, yo, that makes sense, because everything can be sold, even consciousness. So it's like obtain the information so you can become aware. But now when you are aware, you're really just supposed to live and let live. Literally live and let live. Like, there's really no point to doing anything for so long, for so hard, because you're really supposed to just flow. Allow the experiences to come into you. When someone has a way of thinking, or they come in to ask you for some advice or whatever, it's not for you to tell them how they should be. It's just to share your experiences and then observe them. That's it. It's nothing even deeper than that. That's why relationships, I think, is so hard, because everybody's forcing people to fit this certain type of mold of what they expect to see or what they want, when really you should just be you and let that person be you. Be you and let that person be them. You'll figure out real quick if that person is supposed to vibe with you. You'll figure out real quick if that is, you know, a good path that you should be on. There are some things that, of course, you should share, like your goals and what you want, whatever. But at the same time, the forcing and the expecting and all that other extra stuff, like, you're not in complete control of all of this. You are co-creators. Meaning you're co-creating with something else. You are creating with something else. You're not just creators. You guys are co-creating. So understand before you fall into the next trap of, like, the next wave of something, even consciousness. Like, I'm starting to see a lot of people selling webinars and selling this and selling that. And I'm like, well, people kind of have to, like, experience this for themselves. It can't really be taught. You know, it can't really be taught. There's some aspects of it that can be taught. Like, you can be taught certain different types of forms of meditation, certain mantras, certain reasoning or understanding or logic for certain things, certain theories, like the 99th monkey theory, or, you know, the double slit theory. Like, all of these things, they can be taught, they can be explained. But if you don't get it, you can't be forced. You know, it's almost like the awakening happens when it's supposed to happen for you. Sometimes somebody triggers it. Sometimes it's an experience. Sometimes you're just born that way. But be careful of falling into the trap of doing this, doing that, doing this, like becoming too overwhelmed. There's some things you should do, but I think at this point, we're really just supposed to have great thoughts to manifest them, because we understand that our minds create our reality, and just literally live, y'all. So for the new people that are just awakening, there's so much resources out here for you guys to learn and to, like, you know, understand why you feel the way that you do, why you think the way that you do. Those are very helpful. I have some videos that I'm going to keep doing, because I remember when I was first awakening, I was just bombarded. I could only imagine now. It has to be challenging for y'all. I named my channel MidPoint because I'm more focused on keeping things in the middle aspect, like midway. I can't be too extreme in anything, and I think, you know, everybody's different. Everybody has their own way of doing things. That just seems to be working for me, and a lot of others as well. Like, you can have one thought one day, and then next week, next month, you'll have a different thought. Perhaps you gain some new information, a new experience that shift that, and that's okay. And that's all about being able to move like water, to have an open mind. To me, that's the middle way. You're able to go from left to right, or at least understand all aspects. Midpoint is funny because it's almost like the pineal gland also in the body, because it's in the midpoint. It just happened to work. I didn't even realize that. It just happened to work. But even the heart chakra is the middle part is a midpoint between all the chakras, right? Before you get to the other top three, you have to pass the lower top three, and you normally do that once you get to the heart. And the heart is really the middle way. So if you guys can understand that, then you can understand a lot about having that kind of mindset. You could work through a lot in life, because if you could actually look at it, being in the center, it means you have a circumference view also. You can see all sides. You can see north, south, east, west. You can see everything. It's almost similar of having a bird's eye view, I probably would want to say. But everything expands and it contracts. You're born into life, and then you wither away and die. Like everything, like you breathe, you inhale, you exhale. Like everything it all starts from the middle point. So I thought that might help some of you guys to understand my type of way of thinking, I guess, when it comes to like this channel, number one. And number two, try really not to get engulfed into too much things that people are telling you that you should be doing. There's nothing anybody should be doing. I think you should be doing what you want to do, and have the mindset and understanding and the intentions of what you're doing, knowing what you're doing it for. Having an intention is everything. You can always obtain information and tools and resources from a lot of people. We're all a community. We're all here to help each other and stimulate each other to grow. At one point, you're going to have to grab the wheel and drive that car on your own from everything that you've learned, from everything that you've consumed. It's not just, consume and not apply. And you'll learn that real quick, because experiences will start to trigger you to look at things differently, and you're going to have to act. You're going to have to observe yourself and then act accordingly. All right. So protect your third eye, protect your energy, protect your life, protect your mind, protect your. I swear, when that voice said that to me, which was me, my voice, the God within me, said that, spirituality or consciousness is also a box. I was like, yeah, it is. If you have to title it, name it, it's a box. Because now whenever somebody says something, that's what that is. Oh, that's a chair. Oh, that's a chair. That's a dog. Yeah, that's a dog. That's religious. Yep, that's religious. That's consciousness, spirituality. Yep, now everything is a box, instead of really experiencing everything as a totality, as a whole, as God. Now you've just placed another box, another limitation. That's all that is. Another limitation. Because now, don't you find it funny, like if you were vegan and then you started to eat meat again, you just get judged like, what are you doing? And others won't understand that, because you're having your own experience, and you need to understand that and be so confident in that nothing and not what anyone could say or do can make you feel bad about you changing your mind or your heart, because perhaps you're experiencing something different from they are. That is your life. This is your experience. This is your reality. You're creating it. Believe that the mind makes it real. So whatever you want to believe, that's exactly what will be. All right? Yeah, that's all I got. Later.